So your current situation is the Five of Swords with the Three of Swords reversed. This is telling me you're aiming to get over a conflict with someone, most likely this King of Swords person. So in your mind, this person may be a tyrant. I do feel like this King of Swords person is most likely male. Otherwise, I would think I'd have the Queen of Swords here. But again, there's so many people. Take the gender how you will, but I'm going to talk about it as if it's the gender in the card, okay? But there's been tension between you. There was some kind of a betrayal that happened, like a sneak attack. But you've come to accept this defeat. And I'm thinking perhaps you've lost faith in this other person. They may have lost faith in you. But this King of Swords person, I feel, is very bitter about the situation. And you may be as well. That could be what your issue, obstacle, or fate is. But currently, we're on your current situation. And this person is starting to realize it was a hollow victory. They didn't really win. They may have thought they did at the time, but they didn't. And I'm seeing you're here with the Three of Swords, healing and recovering from this, or at least you're aiming to. And you're trying to do that through forgiveness with the Three of Swords here. But I do feel as if there's some kind of confusion surrounding the Five of Swords situation. But you're trying to come together or reconcile with this person. Because Three of Swords is telling me not separated, and apologies. If there is some kind of a love triangle, I feel like somebody may now be out of it. And so now this love interest you may have knows who to go for. But there's still some kind of conflict or tension in this situation. I do see you guys are compatible in some way. I think this person, Five of Swords person with the King of Swords, is really a tyrant. This is a person who has a temper, and they tend to blow up a lot. They also they tend to do things they regret later on. But overall, they're just a tyrant. And because of this, with the Page of Cups next to Five of Swords with the tyrant, this is telling me, a man lost a love is what happened here. Now, this could be if they were with you and someone else, or if they were with somebody else, that they may no longer be in that situation. Because Three of Swords tells me getting out of a third-party situation. Those options are no longer available. But I also want to caution you, yes, get an apology, give one, whatever may need to be done, but don't do something you're going to regret, because it's very tricky there. Just a note, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun reversed. So I do see there either may be no success or a lot of setbacks. But this is telling me I think you're getting out of depression, because Three of Swords tells me, yeah, you had it, but you're coming out of it. I'm also seeing that somebody may decide to no longer take somebody else for granted. And you or somebody else needed time to work on this depression or this self-esteem issue. But something's going to happen. It is something positive. It's good fortune, but it does come with, the Five of Swords in a love reading, because it's definitely not love. So it's bittersweet good fortune is what I'm seeing here. Because yes, you had to go through the Five of Swords situation before you could arrive at this good fortune. Or at least that's just how it happened. And so I'm seeing there's an unanticipated turn of events with the Sun here. The unanticipated turn of events must be what the issue, obstacle, or fate is, or what your outcome is. So let's look at those. Again, I do feel like the King of Swords is male, so I'll talk about him that way. This is the person who realized he lost a love. He's most likely the betrayer. And King of Swords is very logical, very intelligent. He's flirty and charming, of course, but he also has a lot of authority, power, and could most likely have dark hair. And anytime you have the King of Swords with the Three of Swords, this tells me your enemy will step back. Now, whether that's step back from harming you or like leave the picture, kind of iffy there. I feel like it's more like refrain from harming, because this person's very logical, and they're going to try and do something they don't regret, and they're also very wary of displays of emotion. So he's very reserved, okay? And he's having to make a choice. He's weighing the pros and cons of what it would be like or what you would be like in a relationship, okay? So on one side, we have the Four of Pentacles, and the other side, we have the Page of Cups. This is why Page of Cups is telling me losing a love. Sorry, my camera's backwards today. So with the Four of Pentacles, this says they are holding back. I feel like there could be a little bit of obsessiveness here. Three of Swords reversed tells me some kind of a fatal attraction, some kind of an obsessive love may actually go somewhere. Okay. If it were upright, I would say no. Also, with Death here, I feel like you're trying to end some sorrow. I don't know if that will happen, but we shall see. Okay, so with Four of Pentacles here, somebody is, well, very controlling, for one, very possessive is how I would describe them. But also, they're afraid. They're afraid to let go. Most likely to be vulnerable. Okay, like Page of Cups is. Page of Cups is very vulnerable. And they're offering love. And then we have Four of Pentacles, which is like, no. I'm just going to hold on because I'm too scared to be vulnerable. And Four of Pentacles, as advice, says open up. So we have two cards that are telling him to open up. But this is the King of Swords we're talking about here. So the likelihood that they're going to be overly emotional is probably not going to happen. That's why it's Page of Cups as opposed to Knight or King. So you could be dealing with a water sign. But also, I'm seeing this King of Swords person, they do stay to themselves, they keep things to themselves, but they also appreciate loyalty in the same way, or in the same note. And so I think that's what they're judging here, because I'm seeing like a love interest is watching or analyzing or contemplating you or the situation, but they don't want to let on, at least not until they are certain. And that's what I'm seeing here. Now with the Page of Cups, this is telling me there is a new beginning. Somebody wants to offer it. Somebody wants to be tender. And I feel like you're going to be compassionate with this person. And you're good at that. But with that Five of Swords, there's, with the Page of Cups that we had, there's blackmail involved. Now, I'm not sure if they're scared of opening up and being vulnerable and getting blackmailed. I'm not sure why that's like a huge jump, but maybe there's something there. Maybe that's the Five of Swords person is that treacherous, if that's the first thing they think of. They just really jump into it. But your love interest thinks you're nice. So I'm not sure. They're just very scared. Whatever happened with the Five of Swords must have been bad. And they made, I'm seeing positive surprises here. So they're just trying to decide what to do. I do think they're going to see the situation with new eyes. They are ready to kiss and make up, or they see that you are. And it's possible that this could happen. It may be a new beginning with tenderness. I do see some aberration here. And with the King of Swords, I could see somebody putting somebody on a pedestal. Whereas before, maybe you had fallen off, or they had fallen off in your eyes, because there is some kind of a losing faith in someone else with that Three of Swords here. But I'm not seeing any moving on. I'm seeing most likely coming together. And I'm seeing if you try to negotiate, it could end up becoming romantic. But do watch for over displays of emotion, because that's going to clam this person up. Okay, so what are your steps or your advice to help you with your issue, obstacle, or fate? We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. We don't like to see her. And the Hanged Man reversed. So first, talking about the Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is being irrational, being tricky, being careless, being a suspicious person, being greedy. So again, it reminds me of the Four of Pentacles. Being fearful, maybe mistrusting people, being in suspense, working a whole bunch, especially being able to work and not relax. It's also not assessing somebody shrewdly. So the Queen of Pentacles is definitely not what we want to be as far as steps and advice. And that's very Four of Pentacles based. But then we have the Hangman reversed, which if this is a mindset or a way of being, the Hangman reversed is telling me, oh, this is going to change. This is what needs to change anyway. There needs to be a release of false security, like the Four of Pentacles is. It's the need to get a new perspective. I do think there is a new perspective coming that's shifting away from the Queen of Pentacles. But just so you know, with the Five of Swords here, it says there's danger. This person could be antisocial. And that would be with the Five of Swords and the King of Swords. So what you want to do is up to you. And so some of you may decide to miss this opportunity. But either way, there may be a lot of pressure, a lot of judgments. And I'm seeing what may happen is you should suspend your judgment about this person, especially if you're just like, oh, antisocial, something's wrong with this person, they're a psychopath. I'm seeing what would help you is to change your mind, get a new perspective. Again, see love with new eyes. So basically, do not be Four of Pentacles, be the Page of Cups, is what I'm seeing here. Or that's what needs to happen with this other person. But I'm seeing it won't really be easy, because we have the Devil, but it's in reverse. So it's not going to be easy to kick this judgment or this perspective. It's going to take a while. So I'm saying as your advice is, don't wait for an opportunity. Just go ahead and forgive. Like the Three of Swords reverse tells me, go ahead and forgive, or you're going to miss the opportunity to do it. I'm also seeing the need to be a little bit more passive, kind of, not as in the opportunity, but be passive when it comes to emotions. Offer compassion, offer forgiveness, or be receptive of it, but don't take it much further than that, not too fast. Because a domineering person like this King of Swords is somebody who's best dealt with in a moderate way. Okay? Now, if you want them to move on without you, then yeah, just be like, I don't know, completely gone. So if you don't want to be blackmailed by a sociopath or whatnot, leave them alone. I want to clarify that. Why is the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Hanged Man reversed? But I kind of see, stop analyzing the situation to get a new perspective. But if you're too passive for too long, you will miss an opportunity. And I feel like that I'm also seeing, actually, you're not being passive. You finally merged some conflicting beliefs and you've accepted something, or at least that's your advice. Okay, so I'm getting more and more to be passive, and this person will finally see something. They will realize. I'm not saying be passive about forgiveness or whatnot, just emotional stuff. This person will eventually see stuff the right way. Okay, so we have the Chariot, another major arcana. I don't usually see the Chariot and the Hangman together, but talking about the Chariot, it does say move. Gosh, and then we have a moving card, which is not being passive. Okay, so if I have the Hanged Man in reverse, it's not being passive. If I have the Hanged Man upright, I was thinking we were just switching it around, so that's my bad. Okay, so we're not. This is getting me so confused because I do feel like there is a need for compassion and forgiveness. And I do feel like that should happen. But anything emotional, because we have the King of Swords, we have to tread lightly. And this is moderation in emotions. And that will get you what you want. It will get you forward movement. Also, it could be dealing with a cancer. Or, this is advice for you, obviously. And in the outcome, that may mean there's some kind of a settling of some deal. But currently, with the Hangman, I'm seeing balance your emotions to get out of stagnation. So if you're waiting around, I'm seeing you have to balance that out before this person kind of is gone and you miss your opportunity. I feel like this needs to be a gentle strength and a gentle control. Because if you control your emotions, you'll control how you're perceived by this King of Swords person. Because it's all their view of you. And you're going to change their view. Their view of you is what's hanging them up. Okay? And I'm guessing they see you as Queen of Pentacles, or they're just not assessing very shrewdly. They haven't really looked into it deeply enough. They've been kind of careless in assessing you. They don't think very well of you. And if this is your view of somebody, like seeing somebody as evil, or they see you this way, or they mistrust you, and think you're tricky, well then, or they're suspicious of you, then this is going to change. Or if that's your view of this person, then that needs to change. Okay, so it's your view that needs to change as opposed to your actions. Whew, I'm glad I got through that. Okay. So your strength is the Empress. She's very nurturing, very compassionate. I feel like this is exactly what's going to help you in the situation. It's also happiness and being recognized for who you are. And this is also the initiative card. So I think you should be the initiative in being compassionate towards this person. Because the universe has said, okay, I'm opening up this window where you guys can converse in some way. It may be a little clandestine. Maybe they're married, whatever it is. But I'm seeing also the need to give grace to somebody over this Five of Swords situation, or to receive grace. And this could lead to exactly what you're hoping for. But don't be overly so, just be so in moderation. This person's going to start feeling passionate, emotional, and sensual towards you because they're going to see you this way. I feel like you're getting on that pedestal. Like, she's definitely on a pedestal with the red carpet and everything. And this person, you are it for them. You are their home. And for Cancers, that's I don't know, an aphrodisiac. But they see you as powerfully attractive. So also for you to have confidence and self-esteem is a good thing. And I'm seeing that if there's been a very long time dispute about this Five of Swords with death in reverse in your outcome. I feel like, yes, there was a perceived grievance, which is the Five of Swords, and there's been a detachment. And this relationship was almost over before it even started because the Empress is here. However, it's going to be the exact opposite. Like, that's going to end now. Usually, with death here in the upright, I would say a long time relationship is going to end due to this grievance. But this is telling me that already happened, and now you're having a new beginning because this person is just all up on you. And you may feel ugly because of the situation. You may feel the situation is ugly, or you may feel ugly. But let me tell you, you are not seen this way. And the Four of Pentacles over here is telling me this person needs to let go. And this is somebody's going to start investing in this relationship. It's going to grow from here. And with the Chariot over here, I'm seeing lots of success, lots of beauty in the situation. But you can't be oblivious, okay? I think you're no longer oblivious to the situation. Or this other person is not. And so you'll no longer be alienating one another. Yeah. And the thing is, with the Devil here and your outcome in reverse, I'm seeing creative expression will start or grow. This one, the more compassionate and nurturing you are, almost like motherly, but not in a weird way, it'll help this. It'll be easier to make this happen. It will it'll prevent the Five of Swords situation from happening, at least again. And this person will no longer want to seek revenge or you. Okay, the next position is other obstacles that may come up, other challenges, and or what are the cards daring you to do. And we have the Ten of Cups reversed. So I'm seeing that you may run into this person being arrogant, okay? You may run into, they may be in a broken relationship. You may not be able to agree with this person on things. Like, you're just butting heads, okay? And I'm saying, like, you've probably done this before. You may have some opposing values. And this person, especially male, may not be able to see happiness in the future with women in general for whatever reason, or possibly with you. They just can't see it yet. But what I'm feeling like is they're overwhelmed with work. I'm also seeing they're not really being honest with themselves, okay? Chariot here is telling me in this situation you all have victory over it. But you have to, again, balance your emotions. You have to balance being passive with having action. There needs to be no extreme one way or the other. So all good things in moderation is what I'm seeing. Because if you have any imbalance within this relationship, it will destroy it. And you will be back to where you started. I am going to tell you, because you have Seven of Cups in here, I'm seeing, especially as your outcome is your dreams are going to come true. If you follow the advice, which is moderation, moderation, moderation. Suspend your judgments. Just be compassionate. Pretty much be Jesus as much as you can. I do feel like you should be reserved and vulnerable at the same time, and so should this person. Well, let's get a little bit more clarification because we're almost finished. I have the Ten of Cups reversed here in the challenge dares section, as well as other obstacles. Okay, yeah, well, Six of Cups, definitely somebody from your past. Oh, good, 3 cards, okay. Let's see. I was thinking of Six of Cups a minute ago. Yeah, you're going to have... This is saying see with new eyes, just like the Page of Cups. So I feel like you're both going to have a change of viewpoint, a new perspective. This is saying you're going to see things with childlike wonder with the Ten of Cups here. You're going to start seeing the past in a different light, but more importantly, you're going to be moving on. Okay. And remember that Sun reversed that is in your bottom of your deck says unanticipated turn of events. It's good fortune that may just be a little bittersweet. Okay, but good fortune is good fortune. Okay, we also have the Four of Cups. So you can see there is going to be somebody who's a little stubborn, a little arrogant, and I think you're going to see this person is right for you, or they're going to see that you're right for them. But I do see the need to kind of repress emotions a little bit, especially about past scars. But you have to be careful not to be gullible or to be self-absorbed, or to I just see there's a possibility that you guys could, not see eye to eye, and this be considered unhealthy. And it could be that way if you guys don't work this out. And what I would like is for you guys to kind of see the Ace of Cups that is there, okay? It's that forgiveness that I was hoping it would come up. We have it in the Page of Cups. He's holding the Ace of Cups. So that's, good news. I'm seeing you have to have a new approach. Four of Cups, when it's upright, it says, if you want this relationship to work, this past relationship that did not work, you guys cannot see eye to eye. It's saying that it needs a new approach, which again is new, seeing with new eyes, suspending your past judgments. Do not think of this person the way you previously did. And they should feel the same way. They should not see you the way they used to see you. Also, with the Sun in reverse, it's saying this person is probably not analyzing themselves. They're more likely analyzing you. So I'm seeing that, and you may be doing this as well. So advice here, your challenge is to see your own faults, check your own ego, see what each of you were doing wrong, and then see this other person in a compassionate way. And this will help you to get what you need to get with this person. Because it's going to be unstable otherwise. You may give too much. Even though we're compassionate, remember we have to have moderation. Don't be smothering, whatever. Or they could decide, I have other options. I don't want you. Okay? So yes, if you want this relationship to work, you have to have a new approach. Completely different from before. If you go the same route, you're going to get the same results. So I'm seeing be a little bit more shy, a little bit more reserved. Or this person's going to want to leave you alone. Yeah, it's also going to end up with disappointment. So we have the Ace of Swords, clarity of belief. This is cutting through bullshit. It's not being brute, okay? This is just saying you have to do it this way because there's so much infatuation here. There's so much passion, but it's also the truth. I'm seeing, this is telling me, has to happen. You have to do it this way. Otherwise, there will be a disaster coming up. So unless you do the advice, this says impending disaster. So it's going to be black and white. It either is going to be great or it's going to be brutal. And it all depends on you, really. Because if you're not going to follow the advice, then it's not going to matter what the other person does. However, I'm feeling like this person is rational enough that if they see what you're doing, they're going to pick up on it and they're going to do the same thing. And then you both will be fine. Because both of you are sure of your feelings. You both are infatuated. You both are crushing on each other. but you also both like to debate, especially about whatever the Five of Swords is. This person is very dictatorial, and so you're going to get exasperated and, give up and go back to this old way. And I'm saying don't do that. You have to kind of put in more effort as far as being compassionate, as well as not being overly emotional. And it's your fate to do this. So your fate is very black and white here. But this is also good news. It's saying you have good news. Yes, one person is very blunt. One person's very selfish and controlling. I'm saying you kind of have to be that person who evens them out. Okay? And I'm also seeing that, the relationship will suffer a little bit, but you both are willing to overcome the situation. Very much so. And no matter what happens, it will be a win-win situation. So if you get together, you guys are both going to be happy. If you both don't get together, you guys will both be happy about that. Okay? So either way, I guess it's a win-win situation, but it's still black and white. You either will be together or you won't. And it's going to depend on changing your perspective, being moderate.